are moving through September so quickly, and knowing that our global vision for September is service to the world. And we are invited this week to particularly look at this idea, the idea that light, a new life, which is the same thing, is always flowing through us. You'll get that on around page 60 of Science of Mind textbook. And so we're asked again to look at life as light, as energy, as power, and to wake up and remember that that is always available to us. Dr. Ernest Holmes reminds us all the time that there is that power in the universe greater than we are, and we get to use it. It doesn't just use us, but we get to use it too. And that if we're not awake and alert to this, we're missing out a great deal if we don't direct that power in the direction of our good and the good of all. So we're looking now at our lives as an energy, as a force, as a power, and particularly as light. At the center core of you and at the center core of me, the heart core, I like to call it, the heart core, there is that pristine state of radiating light that never diminishes, not one iota, no matter what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're doing. It's always intact. And at any time, you and I can touch that through our consciousness, because Ernest Holmes says the way the light gets expressed is through an expanded awareness of consciousness. So through our consciousness, we can touch that, and we can use that power, we can use that energy, we can use that presence to take care of all of the business we need to take care of, whether it's mental or physical or spiritual or emotional. We can, and it's available to us. The sadness is that we don't do it enough, not enough. If there's anything awry in your life at the moment, it's because we're not touching that enough for us to be able to mend or fix or heal whatever appears to need that. And you and I have always had the power to mend, fix, and heal whatever appears to need to be mended, fixed, and healed. And remember, it's all appearances, because in our pristine state, at the core and essential essence of ourselves, we are always perfectly intact. And nothing is wrong with us, not a darn thing at all. Not a thing is wrong with us, or as my mother used to say to us as children, sure, there's nothing bothering you, child. So nothing needs to bother us when we use that power and presence. And so what's given to you and given to me this week is the call to be more consciously aware of the power that is available to us, of the light that shines within us all of the time. So what stops and blocks the light? Well, of course, a fuzzy mind does. An unclear consciousness does. Forgetfulness does, unconsciousness does, thinking along the lines of negativity does. Now, it doesn't diminish the light in any way, it just blocks it. It blocks it from expressing itself through us. And remember, you and I being good and doing our spiritual practice and going to classes and reading the books and taking the seminars and all of that doesn't add an iota to us. It doesn't increase the light in any way. The light pre-exists. It's pre-existent. It always was who and what I am. It always will be who and what I am. And it is who and what life is. But as you look out into the world and you look within yourself at times, you see there is a lot of blockage and stoppage as far as the light expressing itself in myriads of ways in the outer world and within our own lives too. So the challenge this week is to get with the light so that the light can overcome whatever it is we need to overcome, so that it can have that full and free expression through you and through me. Now, Ernest Holmes says that when you and I enter into spiritual mind treatment, when we affirm the truth in prayer, he says all we're doing is allowing the light to flow, because he says that what spiritual mind treatment is the uniting of consciousness with the one. the uniting of consciousness with the truth, coming into alignment with the truth of being. And so, he said, if you were able to look at a spiritual mind treatment or prayer, he said, what you would see is a pathway of light. You would see a pathway of light. And so when you and I enter into that state of open receptivity to the presence, what we're doing is allowing the light to radiate and to shine within us and out from us and to move through us without any interruption. That's all we're doing. So when we really get practiced in the idea of what prayer truly is, you and I don't have to do a darn thing other than just know, recognize, and realize that we're in the light is all there is, and we're just allowing it to be so. You don't have to say a word. So if somebody comes for a spiritual mind treatment to you or to me, all we have to do is to recognize the light in the other person, having first recognized it in ourselves and everywhere else present. And so as you're thinking about that person, you're not really thinking about that person. You're just seeing light where they are. You're just seeing whole light where they are. Just this amazing energy of light where they are. And all you're doing is knowing the only thing here present now is light. The wholeness of being as light. That's all we would have to do if we were deeply practiced in the awareness of the light within ourselves, first and foremostly, because knowing that the light is everywhere present, that's all there is. There's nothing else for us to do except to honor it, to reverence it, to respect it, to recognize it, and to salute it. That is all. Nothing else. Isn't that great? You don't have to spit it out and tell it all and remember everything and share it all and say and say and say and say and say until you're blue in the face saying to anybody who's going to listen to you. Don't have to do any of that at all. You just have to breathe deeply and understand that you have the keys to the inner kingdom of conscious awareness, which is the inner kingdom of life and light, and that all you have to do is recognize it and be open and receptive to its power to alleviate whatever it is you think needs to be alleviated, either in yourself or in your world. That's an amazing thing for you and for me to know. It's even more amazing to respond to it. So what we're asked to do this week in the service to the world is to take care of ourselves and to fortify ourselves and to align ourselves along the line of truth and real essence and recognize our own identity as who and what we are, infinite expressions of the light, infinite expressions of a powerful force, infinite expressions of the one thing, and the one and only thing there is, life as infinite beingness. Life as infinite beingness, that's all there is. And if you and I can wrap ourselves around that and know that that's especially when everything is going to hell in a handbasket and nothing seems to be working right in our lives, that if we could just put that aside and say, oh my gosh, look at the drama I'm in now. Look at the soap opera I am playing a lead role in now. And it's all an illusion and nonsense. Let me go back into the truth of my being and recognize who and what I am and what truly is going on by means of me. And that is light radiating and wanting to express itself, flow through me in a way that overcomes all the nonsense. That's what we have to do. Now, how are we going to get there? By practicing this when everything is going right. That's how we get there. So that we're so practiced, it's become so much of a habit in us that when everything is good and we're able to be grateful and feel grateful and we feel life is good, no matter what, life is good and so on, and I recognize the light and I'm grateful to the light and I realize I am the light and this is just an amazing thing and I'm so overcome with gratitude and appreciation that I just want to dance. Now, that's how we begin to be able to prepare ourselves for the time when it appears that the light has gone out. In fact, all the lights have gone out. And then we can pause in the imagined darkness and allow that light within us to absolutely consume the darkness and flow freely through us and release us from this nonsensical thought that I am whatever I am, alone or full of fear or whatever it might be. I can let that go. To live a life that is a fearless life is an awesome, amazing thing. And when you and I get to do it for a couple of minutes, oh, how beautiful that is, when we feel absolutely no fear at all. And so that's where we need to be. And how we get there is to love and love and love and love and love in an unconditioned way, an unconditioned way, an unconditioned way, because it only is unconditional and unconditioned love that moves us through fear. It's only through that love that you and I can step out of fear and not be absolutely intimidated by it. So the light is love and the love is light. And life, light, and love are all one thing, one whole thing, one whole energy. So your whole life, my whole life is supposed to be only about life and light and love, because every other good thing flows out of that trinity. Life and light and love, all the one thing. So when I'm in the light, I'm absolutely, totally immersed in love, and I'm life-full. And the lifefulness of me enlivens everything around and about me. And this is something that is yours already. This is something that you've always had. This is who and what you are. This is your natural make-up, life and light and love. And you have no shortage of it, none whatsoever. But because you and I don't identify with that as our true identity, and we identify with something else, which is our humanity, which is beautiful. But if it's a humanity that's ego-driven on the negative side of life, it's not so hotsy-totsy, it's not so good. Not so good at all. That imprisons us and changes and quenches any chance of the light coming through us at all. Because it's fear-based, always. When I'm in an egoic state, on the negative side of life, it's fear-based. It's fear, 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 fear. Fear of whatever. Fear that I'm not equal to. Fear that I'm not getting enough. Fear of whatever it is. Fear that they have more than I have. Fear that they don't deserve what I deserve. And how come they have it when they're less deserving than I am? And so on and so forth. That's all fear-based, that's all. And so the light brings us up and out of all of that. You know, the prodigal son was only in a prodigal state as long as he chose to stay in a prodigal state. Have you noticed that? As soon as he rose up out of the darkness and dinginess of his life and decided, no, this is not for me, I've had enough, been there, done that, bought all the t-shirts, I'm done with it. I'm going home now. I am coming through the darkness, I'm going back into the light. And when he made that decision and did that, I tell you, transformation was the result, and transformation for the better. And so you and I can stay in our states for as long as we choose to stay in our states, but then when that moment comes when we've had enough, and unfortunately some of us have to have enough before we'll get up off our dirty airs and do what we know we can do and ought to have done a long time ago. Move forward. Move out of the rut. Stop doing this all the time. You know, and there we are, we're working hard and wearing ourselves out, and our energy is going because I'm working, so I'm trying. People will tell you, I'm trying. And as I'm trying, I'm digging the hole deeper every time I go around, so I have more to jump up and out of, and my trying is killing me, you see. Jedi Masters do or they do not do, they never try. I mean, come on, Yoda knew. They do. And if you look at the negative thoughts that you and I entertain, you can see them like all those dark spirits of Harry Potter that could take over your mind and stop you from being able to do anything good in your life and move in any way, but have tied you up. You can see all those negative thoughts as those amazing dark spirits that you find in all of these fantasy books. The same thing in Aragon, you know, and those don't let these spirits overcome you and take over your mind, because if they take over your mind, you're in trouble. You're under their control. So whatever you do, focus, focus, center, focus, focus, and let nothing into your mind that's going to overcome it. And that's what negative thoughts are like. They're like the dark spirits, you know, that stop and block the light from within us. And you and I can understand that. It's simple enough to know that a negative thought is not helping you. A negative thought is greatly hindering you. And it creates a negative feeling. And a negative feeling sucks the oxygen out of you, the life out of you. And that negative thought and that negative feeling put together causes you to do negative things in your life that you wouldn't do if you hadn't given them power. Now, is that difficult to understand? So mentally we get that, but emotionally we say, huh? I mean, what's so difficult about understanding that? The difference between you flourishing and thriving and feeling enlivened and lightful and lifeful is your choice of thought. That creates your feeling. That creates your behavior. Your choice of thought is the one thing that can make or break your life. So we have to knock it off if we are more than 50% on the negative side of life. Let's stop it now. Remember, 51% is the majority. So if you can think positively 51% of the time, you're okay. You'll be cruising, it'll be nice. I mean, you're not going to race anywhere or, you know, do anything fantastic, but you'll be okay. You'll live a good life, it'll be good. And you'll see it as good. But if you want to take charge of your mind, if you want to take charge and possession of your thoughts, and you want to send that energy within you in the direction of good and only good, you can live the most magnificent life that you so desire, whatever that is. And here's the thing about service to the world. The best service you could do for the world is to take care of yourself, is to watch yourself and maintain and sustain your integrated self so that you can, because of that, be the best possible help of all to the world. Because what you'll be doing is thinking in the light, feeling in the light, acting in the light, and as you do, you're enhancing the light everywhere present. You're expanding the light everywhere present. You are expanding good. You are increasing love. You are dispelling darkness. You are warming cold places. You are healing sick places. And you don't have to do anything except to think and feel aright and to stay in an integrated state. That's all you have to do. That's all I have to do. So the question is, you know, are we ready for that? Are we ready? Are we ready? We think we are, but are we? Are we ready for that? Because what this readiness means, it means willingness. It means affirming that. It means ready, steady, and go. It's not enough to be ready and steady. You have to go when you're ready and steady. You have to go. And so if you want your life to improve and all life to improve, the way is through consciousness. The way is through recognizing the light within you, the power within you, the intelligence within you, and move upon it through the way you think and through the way you feel. Move upon it. And the Spirit moved upon the waters, we are told in the beginning of creation. The waters of consciousness. Spirit moved upon it, but you and I are emotionless a lot of the time because we're paralyzed by all that seems to ail us. And we allow the paralysis to tie us up in knots and we can't move, think, or feel sometimes. And that is the illusionary state to live in. Now, are we ready to break through the illusions is the question. That is the question. What are we going to do with this week that's given to us in every new day and every day of it? Are we going to wake up feeling the same old way every day? The same old thought every day? with the same old attitude and behavior every day? Or can we wake up feeling excited and know the day is new, it's a gift to me, it's the best gift I ever will receive in this day or could ever receive. I opened up my eyes and I'm into a new possibility, and the day, bright shining, is before me, and any great good thing could happen in it if I so desire and decide that this is so. And then allow myself to recommit to it. People ask me all the time, oh, Reverend Moira, how do you get through everything the way you seem to get through everything? And I'd like to be like you, and I'd like to be able to feel like you and think like you and have the peace that you have, and so on and so forth, etc. And I'd say, oh, no, you wouldn't. I'm in my own experience as you are in yours. But for me to get to where I got, I paid the price. I worked at it. As soon as I found Science of Mind and Dr. Bitzer in Hollywood, I never, ever missed a Sunday. I signed up for every class. I took every class. I took every seminar. I did my work. I developed deeper my spiritual practice. And that's what's helped me in my life always. Giving myself that opportunity to withdraw, draw aside. And let me tell you, it doesn't happen once and for all. This is an ongoing process. I can be on the top of the mountain today and then find myself in quicksand down the end of it the next day, just like that, just like all of us do. But now I'm learning how to come up out of the quicksand much more quickly. That's all. So how it's done is through your endeavor and your endeavor alone, and your willingness to seek, to explore, to advance and express the life and the light and the love within you, and to do what it takes in order for that to happen, for the breakthroughs. We do not teach classes here just because, gee, it's a great thing to teach a class, and I'd love to teach a class. We teach the classes here to equip people with tools that will help them to contact the power of the presence within themselves and to come into awareness of themselves that they never ever had before, so that you can come home to your truth self, come home to your real self, touch the essential essence of yourself and know how mighty and powerful and magnificent that all is. And it's you. And it's you at your real essence. And there's nothing sweeter than that. So, I mean, that's how we all do it. We have to sustain that, and we have to maintain that. We have to have the quiet moments. We have to go into the silence. We do all of this. We do the study. We do the spiritual reading, the contemplation, and we take the classes. We take the class. Remember, when we're teaching in class, we're taking a class. And we never stop. And we never think, oh, I've done 1, 2, 3, it's done, I've done them all. Never. We keep doing it over and over and over and over again. That's how we do it. Those of us who have any semblance of how to get ourselves out of tight corners. And all of us are challenged. Nobody is not challenged while you're wearing a body. All of us are challenged. So we've got to be ready, willing, and able to do what it takes to take away all the shell that covers up our true identity and come home to ourselves, so that we can find the peace that passes understanding, so that we can have the joy that is complete, so that we can feel that we are alive and making a difference, not only in our own lives, but in all of life, so that we can have that lightness of being, so that wherever we are blessing and raising and lightening and doing and being what we're here to do and be. And this is for everybody in this room, and I don't care how crummy your life is until now. It doesn't matter. That's all an illusion that we can step out of here and now. We can let it go. We can start taking control of our minds. We can start deliberately directing our thoughts and deliberately and directing to choose to feel however we choose to feel, so that we can be in the world in a way that is serving not only ourselves and our own lives locally, but serving all of creation. And that is all done through an attitude and a way of thinking, a way of feeling, and a way of being. So remember, you have it all, and you have it all now. The ability is yours. The ability is yours now. You have been called into life and living at this wonderful, amazing time of turbulence and truculence. And believe you me, I'm aware of everything that's going on out there, and about the bomb attacks and so on in our own land this morning as I heard it, and also all over the world. But we must not be afraid. That is not the truth. That is not what we're going to own. And we're going to say, I don't think so. That is not my truth. And wherever I am on this plane, I am safe. Wherever I am on this plane, I'm safe because of the light that lives itself in and through and by means of me. It's so, so magnificent, my dear ones. What a shame it would be if we leave this plane without ever touching the magnificence that we are, the light that we are, the love that we are, the truth that we are, and never get to radiate that, and never get to make the contribution we're here to make. Remember, you are the ones that the world has been waiting for. You're here, you're now, and you have the capacity already to be the magnificent life that you're here to be. And you may express it, and you may experience it, and you can diminish any darkness that may appear to be in your life through that recognition, the owning of it, the proclaiming of it, the reverencing of it, the honoring of it, and the saying yes to it, and so it is.